Alright guys, today I'm attempting to make a wicking video for the Alpha BFT since I've been seeing a lot of you guys been having issues with it leaking. I went ahead and did a few steps already to get ahead, because I know this video is going to be kind of long. Right here, I have a flathead screwdriver, the biggest one in the set you get at Dollar General for $1 as a size comparison to my wicking. That one was slightly too small, so I cut them just barely bigger than that, but that's a comparison for you. Just a tad bit bigger than that, and they work flawlessly every time. Okay? How I do my measurements for my chimneys on how it should look is I take one of the leads and push it down and compare it to where the top of the chimney starts and see how much I have left over to be able to be stuffed down there. So once I get my lengths, which actually, just so I can give you all a better reference, I usually always have about 1/4 of an inch I can stuff down there, but I don't stuff that much because I want play up here. That way I have a big poof of cotton that will lock onto the side of the housing when I screw it on. But I'll show you as I get to that. There you go. It's about what I usually run in it. Some people may use less, some people may use more. But this is my specific method because 9 times out of 10 it don't leak. Alright. Now for the fun part. I'm assuming the part all of you guys have issues with. What I usually do is I take the bottom of it and I begin to stuff it. The goal is to get the chimney packed without that V in it. See that V that's formed in it? That's where juice can run inside. And that's where, most of the time where I get a leak from. So I'm just going to push as much down as I can. And I don't think it's going to get much better than that. Just a slight little V in there, but I'll go back and correct it once I got a little bit of fluid on it. And that one, that's exactly what you want your wicking to look like every time. Is this one right here. It's stuffed in there exactly how I prefer it to. Same thing with that one. That one pretty smooth also. If you don't get that chimney packed good enough, that's where a lot of your fluid will rush in and through the back of it.
job. What kind of kids did I bring to your class today, you
Okay. Now, whenever I always like that excess cotton up top, because whenever I wet it down, I'll pat it out to where it barely protrudes past the threads. Like these sides are sticking out way past the threads, so I'll have to push them inward some. That way, whenever you lightly screw your housing over it, it'll thread through the cotton, but it'll slowly push the cotton down and pack it more into the juice channels. That way, it'll have more of a seal, and it'll be a lot less likely to let any juice flow through that's not going into the cotton. Okay, I think it's about good. I think I'm going to run with that. Alright, now next step. Juice. I usually do not juice the chimneys. I just usually juice across the top of the coils and the top. That way I can mold it and the housing won't fight with the cotton. The cotton will just go with the flow, if you know what I mean. Now you want to push them back just enough. We'll see. It's trying to come out of this chimney over here. You want to put it back just enough to where whenever you screw it down, it's going to push a bubble of it to the middle of the juice chimney. Just like so. So usually there's like a little wrinkle right there. There's always a wrinkle sticking out of the juice channel. That way it'll bite down tight on the housing and there'll be a tight seal. Depending on the cotton you use is, your preference on how tight you want it. Because, all cotton reacts differently and will do differently. Okay, well, I think that might do it, so hold on. Now when you stick it over it, you just want to lightly thread it onto the cotton. You don't want to fight it. And there we go. Let me screw it in all the way, and let's see how she does. Now keep in mind, I'm not perfect either. I just know a method that usually works, but sometimes I have to redo it because I didn't do it quite right. Okay. Something there. Hold on. It might leak just because I just screwed it in a tad bit. If I unscrew it and screw it back in multiple times, that's the only time I really ever get it to leak. And voila. I don't know if you can see in the vents, but not a drop inside the vents. Oh. And I just screwed it in twice, so there's a tad bit of leakage, but you know, that's how the story goes.